Here we have the Aniro Smart Gun Lock. There are 3 ways to open this, with your 5-digit passcode, a fingerprint, and or a key. Let's take a closer look at this so you can see what it's all about. I was sent this item to make a review video, so let's talk about it and see what it's all about. Besides the display stand and the lock, you get a pile of mounting hardware to attach the arm to the display stand. You can also attach this arm up against a wall like this or upside down. There's a few different ways that you can mount this for easy gun access or just simply display. You get a set of keys so you can open up the backup. If this runs out of power, then you've got a way of getting into that lock. You are sent this reset key, and I'll explain that in a few minutes, a USB-C charging cable, and a quick start guide. Let's get all this stuff out of the way and take a look directly at this lock. As I mentioned, you can open this with a 5-digit code, and it comes with the default of 12341, but you can get in there and change it yourself. Refer to that quick start guide, and you'll be using this reset and add. There's these reset and add little holes here, and you'll use this little key to bump them and push them a few times to reset that. And you can set your fingerprint as well to open it. And it comes defaulted. Any fingerprint will open it. All fingerprints will work, so you'll want to change that pretty quick right away. If this little device happens to die, or for some reason it's not recognizing your code in a stressful situation, or your fingerprint in a stressful situation, you happen to have the keys, then you can open it up really easy, no problem that way, and that's what these keys are for. If it dies, the USB-C port is on this side. You plug it in, and it will last you for quite some time. So sometimes it will work all the way, and sometimes it's a little bit slow, and for some reason it catches. The best way I found to attach this to my gun, and by the way, a little quick safety note, there is no bullets in here. The safety's on. There's no possible way for this to have any problems, and I always highly recommend gun safety because that is super important, especially when it's in the home, and that's why I like the idea of this lock. And this is how I found to put it on, and so it works well. Make sure these 3 little bars are on the outside, so there's no way that this bar can push that trigger at all for any reason or any time by anyone. Then you slide this on, click it into place, and there you have it, a pretty solid, unmoving, smart gun lock attached to a gun. And so if I want to open it up, I can push my code here, and it did work. It did work, but for some reason, it does have little hiccups here every once in a while. So if you have that hiccup, you just use the key, and off it comes, and you have access to your gun. So I like this. I find this very useful. Anything that adds another layer of safety to weapons, guns, I'm a big proponent of. I really like that. So let's try again with the fingerprint. There we go, and that came off. Like I said, it does get a little bit sticky. At least mine gets a little sticky sometimes. And as I'm pulling it off, if it goes a little sideways or gets crooked just a little bit, sometimes it gets stuck. And the few seconds that you can pull this off, it likes to get stuck. We're going to try the code one more time here. We'll click that into place. So push the code, and it pops off. And it's really easy. If you can see, when it comes straight off, it is fast to come off. It just drops off, and then you have access to your gun. Anyway, I like this. I think this is going to be very useful, and I like the safety idea. I like how you can just slide it onto this. Oh, and you can, let's pull that off real quick. Slide this back on. Hook this on, because I didn't show you. You can actually, there we go, attach it here, and then you can kind of display it. You can have it resting, ready to go. Then you could also just use the key. You can also have this upside down. You can connect it this way, like so. And you could have this attached here somehow to where this is proper, so it's not going to have an issue there with the trigger, but you can hang it multiple ways so that it works really well. So I like this. So I think this is a pretty cool deal.